Now, avoiding bad experiences, there are a number of reasons that when I read reviews out there that are usually negative, they usually stem from not understanding the contract. So the contracts are in pretty plain language. These are not usually like home mortgage contracts that are filled with legalese. They usually have little paragraphs that say dishwasher and they explain what's covered in the dishwasher, what's not, what brands. So they're very easy to peruse, especially if you were like me when you were thinking about like a furnace repair. If you have something on your mind that's causing you some stress, I would read that section very diligently, right? Get a really good understanding of what each of those contracts will offer or don't offer in that space so that you can know. Now, that doesn't mean that you won't actually put a claim on something else at some point and maybe you haven't read everything, but really understand the contract. They are pretty easy to read and a little fun because you get to see some differences between things, and then understand the plan limits too. So these are usually pretty general. This is not necessarily standard, but often home warranty companies will limit $2,000 per appliance. So if it needs to be repaired, they will cover up to $2,000 for repair or replacement and up to $10,000 for the year. So let's say you have, in this case, like 5 appliances that were all $2,000, or you needed a furnace repaired that was $4,000. You've used $4,000 of your $10,000 limit for the year. That's could be probably still really good coverage, maybe more than you would ever put in. We looked at the 1% rule. Maybe you're only expecting to spend $2,000 on any one year. So sometimes those can be really good. But if you really have a lot of expensive things, you have a lot of suspect work that might need to be done, these could be really relevant to you. Other things to consider, you still have to do your maintenance. Now, some home warranty companies will even cover some maintenance, like furnace filters or things like that. But in most cases, you still have to replace your water filters, your refrigerator water filters, your furnace filters, add salt to your water softener, whatever it might be, though those things are still on you. And in fact, it's usually part of the contract that if you don't do those things and you have damage, in those cases, they wouldn't be covered. And another thing to consider is maybe you don't need it. Maybe you're flush with savings. There's no way you're going to outspend your money. That's absolutely fine and legitimate. And maybe you bought a new home. A lot of new homes, the house itself is covered under the manufacturer warranty. A lot of the appliances are brand new, so they're covered under the manufacturer warranties for that. So maybe you just don't need a separate warranty at all, right? You've got plenty of coverage. Maybe you're not even exposed. So that's very possible. The common users that will look at this, some of them fall in the category of, hey, my savings is a little thin. I'm worried about the exposure to doing some of these high cost repairs because I can't float it right now, or I'd have to put it on a credit card. So that's one case. Some people have that money, yet they're just worried about the unexpected expense. What if I had to replace my furnace for $4,000 or $5,000? I might have the money, but it would really put me in an uncomfortable position. So these are some of the common users. Now, also understand home warranties are not free. And even if they are cheap, a $40 a month fee for your service contract comes out to almost $500 a year. So you have to think about, hey, how much would I spend, or do I expect to spend maybe $1,000 or $2,000 maintaining my house versus being sure that I'm going to pay $500 to cover my house with a home warranty. So some of these things are a little bit of a trade-off. You got to just figure out what your comfort zone is, right? If you get a home warranty, you're committed to the cost of the home warranty, but maybe you have some limited exposure to the upside. Otherwise, you could take it on and maybe you don't spend $480 on maintenance. Maybe you get lucky in that year. So some things to consider there. And then regardless, even if you have homeowners insurance, really good coverage on that, even if you have a really comprehensive home warranty, there are just some things that aren't going to be covered by either, right? Say maybe some of the artwork on the wall or the paint or some of the furnishings or whatever it might be. There are just a number of things around the home. You just can't break a dish being clumsy, pulling out of the cabinet and expect someone to cover. That's probably going to be on you. There's just always going to be some personal exposure. So you're going to want some savings, but sometimes a home warranty can help you make sure that some of these unexpected things, which are going to be your responsibility, put you in a more comfortable place. You'll be able to know you can take care of those things because you won't have to take care of the really big things.